Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You got your boys, Lanny Burt, the Dividend Diplomats, Degeneration Diplomats, right here for you guys. I don't know if that works or not, but we're going to go with it for today. What are we going to talk to you about in our video today? We always talk about Dividend Kings. We're always talking about Dividend Aristocrats. But what about the next setup? What about those companies that are about to become Dividend Aristocrats? We're going to feature 10 dividend contenders, as they call them. We found 10 companies that have increased their dividend for 20 to 25 years. Get ready. We're going to do part one of this video. We're going to split it up into two. We're going to talk about number 1 through 5 of our dividend contenders list.
And guys, before we do, smash that subscribe button. Give your brothers here a nice thumbs up on this video. Similar how everybody kind of paves the way. Dividend aristocrats become dividend kings over time. Maybe some dividend aristocrats fall off the list, but they're always trying to pay for AT&T. No calling out names here. And there are always the next generation of dividend aristocrats that come in. So we wanted to really break down some really strong dividend growth stocks that are on the cusp of being dividend aristocrats. Again, over 20 years, we have 10 of them. We're going to break it out into 2 episodes for you guys so that we're not talking your ears off for hours on end. Don't worry, this won't even be a half hour. So don't worry, just hold your beer, chug it right now if you have one. But we're going to talk about 5 stocks because maybe you as an investor only search dividend aristocrats. Maybe you only search dividend kings. Well, guys, you always need to keep an eye on who's entering the ring. Who's going to be entry number 30.
Yeah, because you joke, a company doesn't announce a dividend and become a dividend aristocrat. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes obviously 25 plus years to get there. So that's why it's important to see who's coming up through the minor leagues and getting ready to get bumped up to the major leagues. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk about the companies. We're going to share some of the high-level metrics for you. We're going to run them through our screener. We'll just say it quickly, too, just so we're not dragging too much. We'll talk about the PE ratio, payout ratio, history of increasing dividends, and then we'll share the yield, and then how each one of these companies are performing. Along with probably give our opinions about, are we buying the company today? Do we own them? That's also going to be one of the questions we look to answer, and just overall our thoughts. So, Lanny, is there anything else you want to add before we start diving right into these companies?
Pour the coffee, set some time aside, get your volume up a little bit. And guys, definitely like this video here. We're trying to put out some different types of content, not just talking about a stock to buy right now. Obviously, these are all up for consideration, see if they are stocks to buy, but we're here just to at least put some more dividend stocks on the radar for you. But Bert, I'm ready, man. Let's go. Let's hit them off with the first one of the 10. Again, we'll talk about 5 on this video.
So it's a quiet favorite of DivTwit. A lot of people own this company. We're heading to the utility sector. Southern Company, ticker symbol SO. Utilities are great stocks for dividend investors because it's boring. The income's pretty consistent, the revenue's consistent, earnings are consistent, and so are the dividends. Never going to have the highest growth, never going to have the low. It's just going to be straight, consistent churning over time, and Southern Company always fits that bill.
And remember, it's Southern Company, not Southern Comfort for all you little adult beverage drinkers out there.
Love it. So let's just talk through some of the metrics here. They close. We're going to share some close prices the Friday before Labor Day. That was the September 1st. Price of $67.22. PE ratio is 1867 after considering forward earnings. Lanny, what's their payout ratio looking like with their dividend?
Payout ratio really quickly, guys. Again, 70 cents a share, quarter 280 for the year, 77 or 78% here on the payout ratio. Utilities are typically high. You typically do see payout ratios anywhere from 65 to 75%. They're pretty high up there, so that probably pairs with what their growth rate is, right, Bert?
That's right. And their dividend growth, quite frankly, hasn't been that strong. 5-year dividend growth rate is 3.18%. And their last dividend increase was 3.01%. So in line, very consistent. That's what you get with utilities, as we keep saying. It just isn't that high for Southern Company.
Yeah, very consistent. Again, 22 years, yielding over 4%. So a nice little fixed income stock, one that also gives you a little nudge, a little COLA adjustment there. Down a lot this year, 6.5%, down 15% in the last 52 weeks. So, guys, that was Southern Company. Let us know so far if you own this company
Yeah,
or kind of are looking to buy it.
we don't own Southern Company, so it's not one that we own. Let's move to number two here, a stock that once
Oh,
again, neither of us own this company. We featured them on
ooh,
our channel, I think it was about a month or so ago.
bringing some heat.
Heat, Nike, just do it. Ticker symbol NKE. Like Southern Company, they haven't had the best 2023, down 13.8%, down 3.88% over the last 52 weeks. So this year's obviously been a lot tougher than the last year. It's interesting what's going on at Nike.
Yeah, I mean, trading at 102.36, expectations of just a few bucks of earnings, $3.72. That PE ratio is above the S&P 500 at 27.5 right now.
Man, their annual dividend's $1.36, so that pegs their payout ratio at 36.56%. So passes our screener, and it's just a hair below our perfect payout ratio range of 40% to 60%.
Here's where it gets a little bit better. This is where Nike says, yep, just do it. Just do it on the dividend increases, guys, because similar to Southern Company, they've been doing this for 22 years at an average rate of 11.2%. And similar to Southern Company, they're also very consistent with the last increase with their average at it was 11.34%. So you got to love it.
Yeah, you got to love it. And they've also increased for 22 years, so they're on the doorstep of becoming that aristocrat. Their yield, though, obviously, is the knock on Nike. Their dividend yield is not the highest. It's obviously jumped up. The stock's down 14%. Their yield is now 1.33%. So still lagging the S&P 500, but above the company's historical mark.
Yeah, again, down quite a bit, 14% this year, as Bert said. But again, a high PE ratio, but that's kind of historically what they are. Lower yield, but high growth, guys. So that's Nike. Just do it. Have you been buying Nike this year? Let us know in the comments.
Down there, number three. I've been talking a lot about this company, a lot about buying them. They're closing in on becoming an aristocrat. Qualcomm, ticker symbol QCOM. They've increased that dividend for 21 consecutive years. So again, they're getting close on that doorstep. I built my position pretty large, actually. I mean, we own a pretty hefty sum in the almost 40 shares of Qualcomm, so it's getting up there for us.
Ooh,
Jinkies, as Laney likes to say, we're getting there.
yeah.
So let's dive into the metrics. 115.39, forward earnings of 830. That's a PE ratio of 13.9x.
Oh, with the PE of below 14, I see why you've been buying them. Yielding, they pay 80 cents a share a quarter, 320 for the year. Another low payout ratio at 38.5%.
Beautiful.
And that's really solid, especially if you've been growing dividends for 21 years. So Bert, what's that average growth rate like?
Their 5-year dividend growth rate is 5.43%, and their last increase actually exceeded that.
There
It's
we go.
0.67%. That's always been the knock that
Definitely
people have
above
said.
expectations.
Yeah, people have always said that about Qualcomm. They're for a tech company, they're not the highest dividend growth stock. So that's the one thing. Still, though, the metrics look awesome from other standpoints.
2.77% yield
Yeah.
appears decent with the growth rate. Again, down 52 weeks, but up over 7.5% this year in 2023.
Yep. So that was number three, Qualcomm. Let's talk about numero quattro, Lockheed Martin, ticker symbol LMT, that defense come the
Yeah.
jet building, missile flying, woo company here. We're talking Lockheed Martin, ticker symbol LMT.
LMT guys, Lockheed. Again, it's no question I've owned them for over a decade, going on 15 years actually. Where you ended up buying a couple shares, right?
I think 3 or 4 years ago when they dropped down into the 300s, I swooped in. So this is the first stock on the list where we are both shareholders of the company.
Wow, this is the first stock I own of the top five. So yeah, I mean, trading at $448 now, 18 cents. I almost had a second take at that analyst expectations of EPS, which is $27.14, which leads to a pretty decent PE ratio of 16.5.
Yeah, that is pretty solid. Yeah. Makes you think, doesn't it? Annual dividends $12 per share. Again, I had to fact check that like you. The annual payout ratio is 44.22%, so right in that perfect dividend payout ratio range.
Wow, it's perfect, Mr. Perfect, guys. Again, they've been growing dividends for 21 years, just like Qualcomm, at an average rate of 8.45%. But unlike Qualcomm, Lockheed's last increase was actually only quote unquote 7.14%, so slightly below that 5-year average.
They've been locked into that pattern of continuing to increase at 20 cents per quarter for the longest time. So that's going to go down, obviously, when that happens. But it's
Give us 25 this year. Come on, Lockheed, if you're hearing this.
Lockheed. And one fun thing is they are expected to announce that big dividend increase here in September. That is coming up this month. So their yield's going to get juiced up. But right
Really big for me.
Yeah, their yield's going to be 2.68% at this moment before the dividend increase. So hopefully that's going to jump up a little bit higher.
Oh, yeah. Again, down 6% this year, but up 6% over the last 52 weeks. Lockheed Martin, 21 years, climbing the ladder, few years to go. But Bert, this is the 5th stock here to round out part 1 of this list. Hit them with the music.
Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. Man, this was one that we covered. What was it, last year? We almost purchased them. We almost did it. And this was right before they announced their big ChatGPT investment, and the stock just took off. We missed our mark on getting into Microsoft. Yeah, that's how we feel, but we're always watching. So they're number 5 on this list. Their price is $328.66. Forward earnings 1101. PE ratio 29.85. So not a cheap stock by the slice of it.
Now, but paying an annual dividend of $2.72, broken over 4 quarters, that leads to a payout ratio below 25%. So very safe, which means this dividend growth rate's got to look pretty stellar, Bert.
Yes, it does. 5-year dividend growth rate's 10.12%. Their last dividend increase, 10%. They're also
right
going to increase that increase. Another September dividend increase coming here from
Let's go. What a top month, guys. Let us know if you own Microsoft stock right now in the comments. Let us know. Holla at your boys.
Yeah, they've increased for 21 years, so they are getting close, like all the other ones on this, to becoming that dividend.
Now, similar though, right, with Nike, Microsoft yields less than 1% at 0.83%, or half of what the S&P 500 yields. So you definitely make it up on the growth rate, but it just takes a long time to really build that dividend machine from one of these players.
And they've crushed it in 2023. They're up 37% over the last 52 weeks. They're up 26%. So that's always a tough pill to swallow too when you're buying the stock.
Oh yeah, guys. So that's it. That's the 5 stocks, right, Bert? Give them a quick summary of the tickers here.
Southern Company, Nike. I forgot the tickers. Southern Company, SO, Nike, ticker symbol NKE, Qualcomm, ticker symbol QCOM, Lockheed Martin, LMT, Microsoft, MSFT. From this list, I own 2. I own Qualcomm and Lockheed Martin. Lanny owns 1 with Lockheed Martin.
One
Question, though, how many do you own on this list? Let us know your thoughts on these. And are you buying any of these stocks now? The only one I'm buying right now is Qualcomm. I'm going to continue adding to my position. Not going to lie, Lockheed's interesting, but gonna keep watching them.
And guys, let us know if, out of these 5, will they all make it to aristocrat status? Let us know that as well in the feedback below.
Fair question. So everyone stay tuned for part 2. That's probably going to be releasing here on Saturday. So we're going to split this up, give you guys a break from contenders with a different video in between. Let us know and make your guesses for who's going to be in part 2 of our video.
That's right, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Give this video a nice thumbs up for Bert the Hurt. Now, remember, keep saving, keep investing, always be buying. Juice that forward dividend income on your journey to financial freedom. And Bert, cut it with the last quote here.
If you're not with us, you're against us. Get out, Jack.
That was Bert the Hurt and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and